Folks, I just found out that if I'm not registered to vote, if I haven't registered to vote in Ohio, in Boardman Township, Ohio, if I haven't registered to vote, I can't vote as a citizen. And folks, they forced me 2.5, 3 years ago to become a citizen of this township. They forced me. I didn't want it. Yeah, I was living in a house in this township. That's true. But there was, at that time, I could have lived in many houses in other townships in other states. Now, my name was on the lease. No bills. No bills coming to this house, this address, even today, that had my name on them. No cable bill, no electric bill, no gas bill, nothing is in my name. Ohio demands you have several things before you can just come in and claim you're a resident in Boardman Township, Ohio. And there's like 4 things you need. And it's got medical bill, something. Cable bill, electric bill, something. You got to have some bill that comes to the address you're claiming to be a resident at in order for you to be able to even claim you're a resident and go down to the BMV and get your license changed from the last state you lived in, like in my case was Indiana. You have to have several things in order to get that done. I couldn't do it. I had a house here. My son had a house north of here, about 30 minutes in Ohio at that time. That was an address they had on me. No bills did I pay at that address either. They knew about my Indiana address. No bills in my name. I could have given them a couple more addresses that I could have been living at. No bills in my name. They used the fact that they knew I was living in this address and claiming that I should have had my driver's license changed over within 30 days. Or 60 days, or 90 days. Well, I done been around here. I done been fighting cases in the courtrooms around here for 1.5 years. At one point, the very first court case I fought, I was driving back and forth from Indianapolis. They knew it. I'd drive 400 miles to go into a courtroom to say, not guilty. Okay, we're setting your court case up for this day. And I'd drive 400 miles back to my house in Indianapolis. And then on that court date, I'd be driving back up here. Or me and my wife would plan being up here around that date. What ended up happening, they claimed in the courtroom that I was driving on a suspended license. Not a license that I've just never had changed over to an Ohio driver's license or anything. They claimed, and I didn't even get this ticket until I was sitting in the courtroom. until I was sitting in the courtroom. And the judge is the one that told me about that ticket. I didn't know about it on the night I was arrested. I found out about it on the day I was in court, and I'm going, what do you mean, Judge? I got to suspend. I reach in my wallet. I pull out my driver's license. I go, here, Judge, you can run that license right now. I ain't doing none of that. I'm like, what's going on here? You're not even going to run my license, see if it's suspended or not? I couldn't believe it. I could not believe this was happening. As soon as I left the courtroom that day, when they told me not only was I being charged with fleeing from an officer, which I wasn't doing, I was trying to get away from a crazy man that was a Watachi hater. That's a fact. That's all I was trying to do. Oh, he's claiming he was pulling me over for speeding, or no, he was pulling me over to tell me like he did a traffic stop. He didn't even have a police car, folks. He was working security at the local grocery store, the Giant Eagle. He was working security. He didn't even have a police car. That's where I came out of. I already filed one charge on him where he tried to force a mask on me going in that store about 4 or 5 days earlier, when I already had permission to go in the store without a mask on through the district manager. I even showed him my medical records. And that man, his last name was Bell, gave me permission to come in that store, and the other 3 he ran without a mask. This cop wanted to put a mask on me because I told him in all my videos, you'll never mask Watachi. Well, he tried one night, and he harassed me all the way through that store. Even people that work there is telling him, look, he has permission to be in here without that mask, and this cop wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop. So the very next day, I went up to the police department, filed harassment on him. I've got all the paperwork. 4 or 5 days later, I see him up there. He's out on a phone talking out in front of the store on his phone. He ain't playing security. He's on his phone talking. As I come out, and yeah, I had a bad attitude back then, folks. And I saw him, he saw me, he looked at me, and I went, well, he didn't like it. So now he's going to make a traffic stop. Claim I'm driving on a suspended license. And they carried it through. He even tried to get me shot that night, folks. Because when I drove around his clown self, I drove around him. Not only he, a woman that works there came up with a story that I drove right straight at him. I was trying to kill him with my car as I left. I already had it on video. You could see this man standing on this side of my car and me turning my steering wheel as far as it would go to the left because I'm stopped. As he walks up on me, I'm backing out of a parking space and he's coming up on me. So I'd turn it all the way to the right. And then I pull around it because he's freaking me out. There was another, he was attacking me again. That's a fact. Well, it went from there. And I got 2 years, but only did 1 year on probation because I had no criminal background. None. Once they got my Social Security number, they thought they had the biggest. Oh, they thought they had a criminal, buddy. Even the prosecutor was like, man, we pulled you back around. I said, that's right, and I want to know what's on it. He goes, you know there ain't nothing on it. I said, that's right. Folks, God loves you. I tell you these stories because you guys don't even think anybody goes through. I know people go through this. And I'll tell you what I've seen Trump go through in the last 8 years, maybe longer. He knows what I'm talking about. He knows what I'm talking about. Mine's just a speck compared to what he's dealing with. That's a fact. And I'll tell you something else. I go out here, I'm trying to find a place. I just found out if I don't get registered to vote by October 7th, I can't vote. They forced me to become a citizen of this township. And they're telling me if I don't go somewhere and register to vote by October 7th, I won't even be able to vote on election day. I'm telling you what, that's what they're telling me. Folks, is there anybody who wants to claim I'm not a citizen? Anybody wants to claim my family hadn't been on this dirt, this continent, since 1608? Anyone? I'll give you the evidence. I'm more of a citizen than most of these people around here. They're going to tell me if I ain't registered to vote by October 7th, I won't get to vote on election day. Now, how are all these illegals and all these non-citizens, dead people, all this stuff, how is all these people getting to vote? But when it comes, I'll tell you what, the last time I voted for Trump, cops escorted me out of the building. They told me I was at the wrong building. I said, it's the closest one to my house. Oh, no, you got to go 12 miles over there. I'm like, what? Oh, hell no, I'm voting right here. And I'll tell you what, I doggone didn't vote right there. They proved me wrong with a big escort. You guys, right violation. I'm telling you what, Article 18, U.S. Code 241, 242, look it up. Conspiracy to violate somebody's rights under the color of law, meaning being the government, and actually carrying it out. You wouldn't believe what you can get punished for doing that to somebody. But all these politicians, they screw us all the time and nobody does anything about it. Nobody. Not even the Oath Keepers. God loves you guys. Don't get me started on the oath takers and keepers. Love you. God loves you. And I'll tell you what, if you want to be with the Father, you got to first know the Son. Seek Jesus. Or don't.